Good morning. Good afternoon. It's 4 o'clock. That's it. It's 2. Weatherman. Who do we have here? This is, you may recognize, internationally renowned country superstar Kenneth Chesney. He's sporting a little blonde wig upon his cowboy hat. It's a good look. We are in the Moment conference room today, which acoustically may or may not be that great, but hey, we're back. We're podcasting. It's Monday, February 27th, 4 p.m. in the afternoon. We are podcasting because content is king, right? So we're podcasting today. And look, the truth is we have had a flurry of new ideas and content, blogs and vlogs and you name it coming through. And a lot of times it's just a matter of sitting down and actually recording them. So for those of you that expect this podcast regularly, my apologies. We're going to try to get back on the saddle, as they say, and have this happen a little more often. And again, these are quick bites, right? So we get in, get out. I started Moment Creative back in 2015, March of 2015, then known as Shop Marketing and Creative Group. And have been in the industry for well over a decade now, which is a both terrifying and fun thing to say. Over those years, I think I've procured quite a bit of knowledge in this space, and quite frankly, my history is a feather ruffler. I am always the one that's going to speak up, maybe try to inspire some change, and I think we have. Here at Moment Creative, we do things a little differently, and you can ask our clients, they like it. We bill differently, we estimate differently, we account differently, we interface and client relation differently, and that's okay. So what do we mean differently? Like, what's different about us? There's a lot that's different about us. One of the things that is different about us is, again, the way I said we account, okay? What do I mean by that? Well, historically at agencies, you have these positions, these titles: senior account executive, account manager, account supervisor, account director. Very stuffy, stupid titles, to be honest. Now, I do understand and respect the value of a title and kind of emphasizing seniority and hierarchy within an organization. That being said, manager, director, supervisor, coordinator are the most ambiguous terms on the planet. So why don't we create terms that are a little more structured, right? Like, okay, on our team, for instance, we have producers, right? Producers are effectively all of those roles, right? And we have, on top of the producers, we do have an account director, right? But you move through the ranks: junior producer, senior producer, account director, right? So now we have a very established hierarchy, okay? But the truth is, everyone here at Moment is involved in all the work, right? And historically within agencies, account executive, account supervisor, account coordinator, account manager, account director, all those fall into one silo, which is account management, or accounting, as I'm calling it today. Then you have, on the other side, again, weatherman here, the silo that is strategy. So we have strategists. And then finally, over here, we have creators, creatives, designers that are also in a different silo. Well, let me tell you just a quick story about silos. But I'll do that after. Hey everybody, my name is Luke Miller, founder, CEO, accountant, bookkeeper, manager, producer, director, Moment Creative. We talk about this often here in this organization, that we are jacks of all trades. So what are those silos, right? Let's jump back into those silos. The title of today's podcast is Silos, right? Silos, which are creativity, production, and strategy, sucks, right? Why are they that? Why are they sucks? What is a suck? Suck takes away the ability for somebody to do something, right? These are vacuums, right? We live in this vacuum of silo, right? So that the story I'm referencing is I've freelanced at many agencies, some of them great, some of them awful. But one thing they all did was this silo, right? And what's tough about that, okay, I'll never forget the day I was handed a deck, printed out on paper deck of some creative for this execution. And I'm flipping through this as a producer-oriented person, as a production-oriented mindset. And that's what we run with here at Moment. I'm flipping through this deck and I'm like, okay, cool. What's the budget for this project? And they're like, oh, we have $100,000. I'm like, you realize there's $5.5 million worth of ideas in here. And the creatives that sent me this are like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah. They wanted all these little acrylic pieces with like quotes on them to go in the flower arrangements on like 100 tables, and they wanted 3 per table. This is custom printed, yada yada. And they're like, oh, that's a couple $100, right? Like, no, this is thousands of dollars of custom work, right? Like we're not printing thousands of the same thing or rinse. Anyways, that was a big moment of reckoning for me in terms of when we started Moment Creative, that our strategists and our creatives and our producers needed to work in tandem, right? And by doing so, we're able to create ideas with production mindsets at the table. Okay, hey, I joke, I use this running, ongoing joke about a client coming to us and saying, let's etch our logo on the moon. Okay, great idea. We like what you're thinking. Okay, your logo's in the sky, it's visible, right? Okay, but that's an impossible thing. So what is the essence of that idea? How can we bring that back to earth, right? And so when we sit in a room with producers, strategists, and creatives, right, that all have that shared mentality. And when we hire jacks of all trade. We ask questions that spark and showcase creativity. We ask questions that require strategic thinking. And we ask questions that put a producer's hat on. So bringing these things to life. If you aren't left, right, every brain, you're not going to be a great fit here. If you want to be siloed, maybe somewhere else. But if you want to have and wear many hats, this is the spot for you. So we can sit down and take an idea that comes from a creative and put a production lens onto it, production mindset, with a strategic thinker to say, hey, what about this idea? How can we scale it back or up or down? What can we change about it to make it feasible from a production standpoint? And what is the strategy ultimately behind this creative execution? What is the client getting from this if they execute this? And when we do that, when we eliminate the silos and we work harmoniously as specialists, but understanding that we all together succeed or fail based on what we're able to bring to the table, there is no better level of strategic, creative, and production level thinking than when we can do it all together as opposed to separate handoffs. Come to Moment, you're going to get that. That's it. That's the podcast. Thanks for stopping by today. Another one next week, and I think we've got special guests, a new addition to our team. So Drew, you'll be joining us next week. We'll see you then. Ta-ta.